I was at this point in my life where I'm like, why? You know, I'm asking why. Why am I born like this?
The majority of you, when I say the word failure or defeat, you will immediately correlate it with negative. The times where you get your butt kicked, the times where that goal doesn't get hit, that time where you fail on a business plan or whatever it may be, that is where the most personal growth comes from. We wouldn't know what the wins feel like if we never lost. Am I right?
I'm Nick Santanastasso. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a shifter and a shaker of any industry I want to be in. So I was born with a super rare genetic disorder called Hanhart syndrome, and what Hanhart syndrome is basically it leaves the babies with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs. I was born with no legs, one arm, and one finger, so I just stand out physically. On May 20th, 1996, I was the 12th baby at the time in medical history that they've ever seen this happen to. 8 have passed away due to undeveloped organs, so they gave me about a 30% chance to live with this syndrome. From the early ages, I didn't realize I was too different. Once I got into middle school, there was some teasing and some name calling, but I had a great set of friends, I had a great support group, a great school. It took a little hinder on my self-confidence, and I didn't feel too comfortable in my skin. I was at a very low state in middle school going to high school. I was out of shape. I thought you were either born with confidence or you didn't have it. And so from the earliest of ages, my parents sat me down and said, Nick, the world's not going to stop for you. Mom and Dad are not going to be here forever. You're going to have to figure out how to do each and everything your way, Nick's way. Skateboarding was one of the first things that my family put me on, and I always compare skateboarding to life because, like I said, we always want to progress in life. We always want to move forward. One day, I told my parents, I said, hey, Mom and Dad, come outside. I learned a trick. And, I went up to the top of the hill, and I come down, flying down this hill, and I come up to my parents on my skateboard. So I come up like this, and I'm flying past my mom on this handstand, and she's just like, oh my God, you don't even have a helmet on. But, I always push myself to progress. I always push myself, whether, it was falling on my face a million times to do that handstand. All my best friends were wrestlers, and so my sophomore year, my friends were like, Nick, you should try wrestling. And I'm like, well, I can't, my arm. And what I mean by that is this limb was about 5 inches longer than it is now, and my bone was growing faster than my skin. So I came home one day, and my parents were very supportive. I came home one day and I said, Mom and Dad, I want to be a wrestler. And my mom was like, oh no, Nick, wrestling's the most physical sport. God forbid you hit your arm, your bone comes through your skin. What are you going to do then? I looked at them and I said, can we cut it off? And with a couple hours of persuasion, my sophomore year, we went ahead and scheduled my amputation. My senior year when I was wrestling, I'd have gymnasiums packed to watch me wrestle, and I came off the mat one time after, losing, and this lady come up to me and she was crying. And she got down on my level and she was teary-eyed and she said, Nick, my daughter's over there on the sideline, and she never wanted to do a sport. She never wanted to do an extracurricular activity until she saw you out there doing it. And this was like my mind-blowing moment, my quantum moment. I'm like, oh my God, I was on the mat for myself. I wasn't on the mat for anyone else. I was trying to dig myself out of this hole in the mat, and I was changing lives passively. I remember filming the zombie prank where I came at this guy and I was like, rah! And I had fake blood on my face, fake blood on my clothes, and I posted the video and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and had over 80,000 likes and over 80,000 revines, and it went super viral. So I did that in under a year. I gained 1 million followers on Vine, and I think from there that led me into bodybuilding. It's like, I'm such a big fan of what you do. It's like amazing, and I'm like trying to hold my inner fangirl in, I'm freaking out. And he's like, can I get a picture with you? And we take this picture, and I look at him, I said, I'm gonna do what you did. And he said, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you're The Rock. People knew you for football, and then WWE, and then you took over the world. I said, you crush every single industry. I said, I'm going to do what you did. And he looked at me, he said, Nick, you're right, because people like me and you, they put us in any industry and we adapt and overcome. And this was just like a moment of reassurance that, I was on the right path. Everything that I do, every industry that I go into, there's always a message I want to bring. And for modeling, we're at a point where, things are being different. People are going in there that are different, and they're embracing their differences. And that's what I want to do. I want to come into the modeling industry, and I want to shatter the way people look at beauty. I want to shatter the way that people look at people. I live my life in a state of gratitude. I'm extremely, just always grateful. And, every day, myself, my tribe, we wake up and we either list 5 things we're grateful for or we write them down. And that's because the emotion of gratitude outweighs all the negative emotion. Whenever I'm feeling down or I'm in a little bit of a slump, I think about like the chances of you being a human being, and then the chances of me surviving the 30% chance to live and just being born in this super unicorn body. It's just like totally like smacks me in the face and gets me back to what I'm focused on. So it's realizing that everything in life is gonna have a little hiccup. It's gonna have a little challenge in front of it, but it's just how am I gonna break through this next barrier?